Kolanjadolane Hinchilki Gantavidon, Chichalaki Alejinochi. Anisohonge Fudohi, Sololi Unadasan Negatio Fudohi School. My name is Ian McAlpin, and I am Jalagi and a member of Nachi Nation from Talpa, Oklahoma. I am in the Library and Information Studies program at the University of Oklahoma. The library is often seen as the primary information provider to the underprivileged in society due to the services that they provide free of charge. These cultural institutions have been going through great change, primarily technological, with the inclusion of makerspaces and more advanced online public access catalogs for the digitization of their primary user base. But this change has been localized to wealthier and more privileged locations. A basic need for library users is internet access. And for tribal libraries, those libraries that serve indigenous people, whether on or off tribal land or reservations, are still disproportionately not given access to the internet. According to a 2014 report on the role of tribal libraries in digital inclusion, only 89% of tribal libraries offered internet access to their patrons, compared to the 100% of rural libraries. 68% offer Wi-Fi compared to the 90% in rural libraries, and anywhere from 40 to 89% do not have broadband internet access. The Federal Communications Commission data gathered for a congressional report in January approximated 32% of Americans living in tribal lands lacked access to sufficient broadband. This compares unfavorably to about 6% of all Americans. Partially due to this data, as well as the September report by the Broadband Commission for Sustainable Development assessment that broadband infrastructure was, I quote, as essential as water and electricity networks, end quote. A congressional hearing refused the FCC's decision to cut tribal lifeline programs, including those to schools and libraries. Internet access is vital to community in this digital age. As libraries, museums, and archives are turning to crowdsourcing platforms, indigenous people need to be present. Even outside of the conversation for decolonizing archives and library institutions, information specialists have acknowledged the importance of the indigenous worldview and oral histories. Just see John Ippolito's Trusting Amateurs with Our Future is one example of many. There are few institutions more invested in the notions of indigeneity than the library, archive, and museum. And I say that these institutions should be invested in the future of indigenous representation rather than the